Hang on to your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
What's going on, entertain? So I'm coming to y'all with another video, and now we're doing a little something new. I wanted to give my recap on the Yolanda Saldivar and Selena, the secrets between them docu-series. It was a crock of crap to me. It made me irritated watching it, very irritated watching it, because it's like I felt like I was being fed lies for like a couple of hours. Like somebody just telling me lies and just telling me, hey, you better believe it or else. It was a whole lot of lies. It was a whole lot of BS. I think when it comes to the docu-series, this docu-series was trying to make Selena look like a villain and that she deserved to get pow. Like, regardless of what she did, whatever happened, you know she didn't deserve to be dead, right? Like, that's not okay that she's not here, right? And it's like that family, it's not clicking for them. So the docu-series start off with like the investigative report the day that she was on Alive, how Yolanda was in the car. She was like, oh, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I killed Selena. You know how she was in her little red pickup truck, okay? She started off, of course, as a fan club runner and then turned into Selena's employee, right? I will say during the docu-series, Yolanda looks like very well rested. The age has gotten to her, but she looks like she's been sleeping very well, eating good, and enjoying her time, and is probably one of the top Bs in her prison. Okay, you know she is. I don't think she's in there suffering not one bit. I think she's in there chilling. I think she's in there relaxing, while Selena's family is still missing her. Okay, now the dad, of course, they get straight to it. They start talking about their relationship and how they kind of developed a relationship, right? And one of the things Yolanda says while being in while getting interviewed, she said she was convicted by public opinion before she had a chance to prove her innocence. And I'm like, this is the dumb stuff that you guys are trying to prove to us. It doesn't matter what the public think. It mattered about what the public, it mattered about what the jury thought. And not only that, it mattered about what happened that day. Screw what we think. Because of what happened that day is why you're sitting where you're sitting. You're not sitting there out of accident. So don't try to make it seem like the public fodder made you end up behind bars when you shot her with a gun. We didn't put and you know what's so pathetic about the whole thing? It's the gun for me. Like, it's literally like one of them old school ones they used to use in the Abraham Lincoln days. The same pow that shot Abraham Lincoln. It probably was the same gun. It's old as hell, and it's just pathetic. Like, you not only you unalived her with a pathetic gun. Like, it was a double whammy for me. Anyways, she felt like the public opinion kind of affected her case. And then we meet the niece of Yolanda. Delusion. We're going to call her Delusion. I understand it's your family member, but please don't try to act stupid. Please don't. Her name is Tina. Please don't act dumb. Now, this was her first time, like Drake, coming out in the public and speaking out about any of this. She never spoke about this before, so it is brave of her, and I don't think it was a smart decision at all. I think this was the dumbest thing she could have did, because not only you came and spoke your part, and now everybody knows you're related to Yolanda, because she does not have the same last name as Yolanda Saldivar. So the Saldivar is not on her last name. So a lot of people, close friends, did not even know that, and probably colleagues did not know that she was related to Yolanda. So her coming out with this is very, very brave of her, but very dumb of her as well. Because the way that she talked about Selena, especially in the second part, was as if she was like this slutty whore. As if she was the first person who's cheated on their husband. As if that equated to her deserving to be dead. You know how much people cheat? Don't mean they gotta die. it was them justifying it the whole. I'm like, this is crazy. Like they're trying to make it seem like it was okay what happened. No, it's not. So we get to the table scene. Now this was where Tina and the niece and the other nephew, the other niece, she hunched over. She hunched over the table, can't even say a word or two. They asked her a question. She's like, I never believed her. I never thought she killed her. I don't think so. The other niece, I'm like, girl, you don't even have no reason to be here. You shouldn't have even been in this docu-series. At least Tina talking. The other one just sitting there. She the only one that had a confessional also. The nephew didn't have one either. Besides Yolanda. So they start talking about their friendship and how they got close. Yolanda said that it was basically started because they went from employee to friend, still as an employee. She had to go to LA for the Beady Beady Mama video. So she started the fan club because she felt like she was a big fan of Selena or whatever, and Selena entrusted her to starting the fan club, and she had to go to LA for Beady Beady Bamba. The family couldn't go with her. Selena's family couldn't go with her, so they called Yolanda and said, hey, can you go with her to LA for the video shoot? So she went with her, and that's when their friendship grew stronger. And that's when they started building a bond. So when they started building a bond, she started trusting her to be in charge of a lot more things, right? So that's when she started to go into the clothing business. So she had clothing, self-care for women, hair, where she had like a location where she sold like clothes. Girls could get their hair done, nails done, pedicure, manicure, etc. So Selena was very entrepreneurial. She wanted to have more than just a singing career, which was really smart on her end. And a lot of people don't give her enough credit for this because a lot of people at that time, especially major celebrities, they would only focus on one thing at a time because they didn't believe at that point in time in multiple streams of income. They all thought that, oh, this music gonna get me far. I'm gonna bang it out. I'm gonna do what I have to do when it comes to this music thing, and I'm gonna just live off whatever I'm making off the music because the wages was. Now, Selena's family was not too happy with this because they wanted her to just focus either on one or the other. They didn't feel like she could do both, but Selena wanted to do both because she felt like she could. Plus, she had the help of Yolanda. So here comes where she leaves being the president of the fan club and she becomes like her full-time employee to the point where she's in charge of the store and other funds. The way that Yolanda talked about this, she made it seem like the dad did not want her to succeed. You think the dad didn't want her to make as much money as she could? He probably was a micromanaging type of dad, which most parents are. But the way that she implied it was as if he didn't believe in Selena, what she was planning on doing. He was probably thinking that she was putting too much on her plate. So don't try to twist it and make it seem like this dad was just this evil, vindictive person and was trying to sabotage Selena when you know damn well that wasn't the case. That's what bothered me with this whole docu-series because they're trying to spin the narrative into making it seem as if the family was just this horrible family and she was just innocent angel who was picked apart every 2 seconds. So then they start talking about the fan club. So the fan club, you guys, had contacted Selena's dad because they found a whole lot of money that was missing. So at that point in time, Yolanda was an employee. So she feels as if it's not her fault because she wasn't in charge of the fan club back then. Guess what? Those people that were gonna receive products, they just realized, hey, I didn't get my stuff. A lot of artists do this. They sell merch, they sell this, but guess what? Their team is bad. So a fan will buy something 1 month, and then 2 months later, they'll realize, oh, shoot, I still didn't get it yet because their team is not on top of it. So don't make it seem as if it was like not your fault whatsoever and that checks were getting cashed in and it wasn't you cashing in those checks unwarranted and without permission. That's what embezzle comes in. Embezzle! It was a whole lot of embezzle thought the whole docu-series. Just embezzle the whole time. Okay? Now, here's why I give her grace. They did not prosecute her because of embezzlement. But the reason why I think they didn't, around the time when they all found this information, by the time you know it, Selena was was unalive. They met March 9th, and that's where the dad confronted Yolanda, right? When she confronted her in March 9th, and then she wrote the letter on March 13th, which we'll get to. And then March 31st is when Yolanda ended up passing away. That's a few weeks span of time. So unless I act like years went by, they noticed and then no, it was in the course of a month. So I feel like there was a lot going on. Selena was at her highest at the time. They didn't have probably enough time in the team to be able to truly try to prosecute you and get all the evidence together. Okay. Now, when she was confronted on March 9th, the detective said that Selena was in the room and they didn't look at, like, basically Yolanda was looking at her like, help me, back me up. And Selena was just like, puta, answer the question. Because he would question her like, what happened with this? What happened with this? And she was like squirming. And the detective said that Yolanda was shocked because this was the first time Selena really didn't back her up. And I think that was one of the first instincts that Yolanda had, that like, damn, I'm losing her, because now she's not believing in me anymore like she used to. She used to defend me for everything, and now she's realizing like, oh shoot, she not believing me no more. So the embezzlement proof is murky. I'll give her that, but it still doesn't negate what happened. Yolanda says she has nothing. She has proof that she did nothing wrong, paperwork wise. So I'm like, why didn't you show that before March 31st, before you ended up unaliving her? Why didn't you show them proof before then? And that day that you were supposed to show your documents and proof, you ended up unaliving her. So clearly you were guilty of some sort of funds. Because if you're not guilty, somebody's accusing you of you guilty. What am I going to get a gun for? I know I didn't do nothing. I have it right here. What you going to do? That's where the guilt comes in, and that's where I don't believe her. Cap, and more cap. And then you went and got a Glock afterwards. Now, this whole letter, right, which we're going to get to in part 2. So they get to the day. We all know what happened the day she was unalive. They met in the hotel. They had an argument. I really wish Selena should not have went by herself. She should have went with at least her dad or security. That way they have a person there that can actually testify. God forbid something were to happen to the both of them, whoever she would have went with. She really should have went with a group of people, not even just herself or another person. It should have been like 3 or 4 people at a time. She said that she was startled, and when she put the pop out to her head, she went like this, got startled, and then went off. I don't believe that at all. I think they had a bad argument, and she was mad that this was Selena's first time standing up to her, and she could not take it, and that's when she ended up unaliving her. I think she got scared and frazzled to the point where she was mad. So when she got mad, she probably didn't say like, hey, pop, but she was mad like, oh, you stupid, and then went off. That's what I think. I don't think it was an accident to the point where the Glock just went off. No. You were mad. Even the detective said when she was getting interrogated, she said in Spanish, she said it was in a moment of anger. And you said in Spanish really quickly. But then claimed she never said that. Your cap has been a mother F. It's just crazy to me how, like, she expected us to believe these lies. And it's like, come on now. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Like, be real. So we get to the second part, and then we get to this letter. The letter to me is pure cap. The family sat with you in March 9th and accused you and told you, get out. You're not a part of the her career anymore. Help her out with her. Get out. March 9th. You write a resignation letter on March 13th. You know when you about to get fired, so you quit. I've done that before, so I would know. That's what it was. So don't act like you were just walking away because you just couldn't deal with it anymore and like they wanted you back so bad. No. You knew you were going to get fired for real, for real. They were going to cut all ties with you, and you panicked. That's why you went and got that pop out. Okay? Now, when it comes to the niece and them sitting down with her, with not with Yolanda, but with each other, and them pulling out the most ridiculous thing, including a doctor's note. I gagged. I said, I know you lying. Not a doctor's note. This is the doctor's note, you guys, that I'm speaking of. And we have Dreaming of You playing in the background. Hold on, y'all. This is the doctor's love letter. So apparently, Selena was having an affair with her husband with this doctor. Do I believe it happened? Probably, but she's not the first person who's cheated ever in life, and she didn't deserve to die over it. Let's not act like this affair situation was this big secret that Selena was scared to get out. That she feels that cutting you off, you would have told the whole world. Because if you told the whole world, her career wouldn't have stopped. Her relationship may have ended, but her career still would have kept going. And this love letter thing is ridiculous. You think she got some little cheap little card like this? Like, come on, like y'all really conjured up evidence to the end of time for this docu-series because she is eligible for parole a year from now, March 2025. So the fact that you guys just conjured up this evidence, pulled it out the crack of your asses is like a little ridiculous. Now, even the doctor even admitted to it and said, and years later, after Yolanda was put behind bars, that he did have an affair with her, and that he was in love with Selena. Okay.
When you keep secrets, it affects any relationship. It makes it difficult. On one side, you don't want to betray your friend.
um, Abraham called me and said, Yolanda, we would like for you to see if you can go with Selena to go to LA.
They were pals. They did everything.
Became our friends. Like any relationship, it makes it difficult. On one side, you don't want to betray your friend and telling her husband or her parents everything that's going on. But on the other side, you want to.
Before, I believe, Abraham called me and said, Yolanda, we would like for you to see if you can go with Selena to go to LA because she's going to be filming Bitty Bitty Bom Bom, but none of us can go with her.
Okay, so this whole cheating husband thing, it's another narrative that's being pushed out that Selena was just slutty whore and that she was just horrible person who deserved to be unalive. Not true, not at all. Now, another thing too was this Mexico trip. Now she went to Mexico and was attacked by two niggas in a bathroom. They didn't get her purse, they didn't get her money, they didn't get anything from her. They barely beat on her. She ended up having to go to the doctors afterwards. Selena was standing there like, girl, you know you a damn lie. Stuff like that. It just seems like she was grasping at straws at this point. Like she was just making up stories. It did not make any sense. Why would two guys attack you in Mexico in a random bathroom and not do anything to you and run out? How does that make sense? Apparently, somebody sent a letter saying that the doctor that Selena cheated with allegedly sent them guys in Mexico to get Yolanda. And I'm like, please. And they wrote a letter. It was from one of the doctor's family members. I think one of the family members allegedly wrote that letter. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That whole docu-series pissed me off. And then we get towards the end where she feels as if she did it on accident. The niece starts to cry. She's like, doing the ugly cry. I didn't feel too bad because it's like, girl, like, yo, at least she's still alive. So, hey, you can still see her till the day she's no longer here. So, not too bad. The reason why I really do not believe Yolanda is because she's a great actress. That interview that she did years ago, she was very smug. It seemed like she had like a key about it. When they asked her about the cheating stuff years ago, the cheating stuff never got brought up, but she said Yolanda had a lot of secrets. She was very coy. It's like she got a joy out of knowing things that people didn't know, and she didn't seem remorseful at all. Now this Yolanda, old lady crying, please, I don't believe it. Why the change in demeanor? What happened to this coy attitude that you had, like you was the mafia bitch, the mafia princess? Do I also think she called Selena a bitch when she shot her? Probably. She's never gonna admit to it though. I feel like the documentary was kind of done in poor taste, and I'm kind of upset that Oxygen got rid of Bad Girls Club. I'm never gonna hold that against you. And two, let this docu-series actually come alive, because I don't think it did anybody any favors. I don't think it made anybody look good. If anything, it made Yolanda look worse, because when they asked her about the shooting and they asked her about that day, it's as if she had to come up with an answer right then and there, because she had no answer. She had no excuse. You killed her out of anger. That's just what happened. You probably didn't go into it thinking you wanted to unalive her, but that argument made you so mad that you pulled the trigger. And that's just that on that. Let me know what y'all think down below about the docu-series. I know I'm a little bit late in the recap, but yeah. Leave your comments down below, and we're out, babies.
No personal thing.